And now we finally get to see the one weapon I love more than any other from the original game. That's right, who needs spread fire when you have tracking machine guns? Oh yeah. That's doesn't fire when there's nothing on screen to hit, but there are a total of 2 machine guns that fire in any direction on the screen, as long as it's considered a target, no buildings, sadly. And of course, when there's only one thing on the screen, it will fire both at the same target, making for quite a lot of damage, especially since the machine gun is, I don't know, surprisingly pretty good for being the weapon you have to start with. Still, it's the weapon you have to end with too, unless you decide to sell it stupidly. So you can understand where it's a pretty nice basic tool. Perhaps I should put in a word about how the weapon damage system works. That is, the enemy's weapons. As you can imagine, the things that sort of represent machine gun bullets, only much more obvious. Yeah, that's what I really love about that tracking machine gun. You don't even have to stand in front of a line of fire just to see it burn. Sorry, I was talking about the enemy's bullets. The little yellow dots that are supposedly machine gun bullets. Well, those do the least amount of damage, no matter what difficulty level you're playing on. Behind that, I believe, are the missiles. And beyond that are the little yellow dots with little bits of flame attached, like you see firing from these ships here. I'm almost certain they do more damage than even the missiles do. On the other hand, the missiles are a lot more likely to be fired into giant bursts, like that. And as for lasers, well, they're not in Bravo sector, but you will eventually find enemies that fire lasers in the rest of the game, and let me tell you this, never ever stand in front of an enemy that can fire a laser. It will make an entire shield disappear all at once. If it's a sustained laser, you're pretty much screwed if you accidentally run in front of it. You know, it's at times like this I kind of wonder exactly whose side we're supposedly on here. I mean, there's this large plant throwing a bunch of toxins into the atmosphere and into the ocean, and here we are blowing them up, causing what can only be described as a catastrophic catastrophic environmental failure. Final wave. On the other hand, it's fairly obvious that whatever side I'm playing for is rather massively underfunded, since we're flying one F-14 against entire fleets, ships, battalions, and of course more airborne vessels that can shake, 2 machine guns, 2 sets, a set, 2 pairs, 1 pair, don't do that, 1 pair of mini-missiles, and 1 pathetically underpowered plasma shot, plus selectable weapon, at. Now, technically there's a more expensive and more damaging weapon that you can get even in the basic game, but honestly, compared to a tracking machine gun, it sucks. There are a few problems with the tracking machine gun, though. Aside from only targeting air and ground targets, not buildings. There's also the fact that there's sort of a lead time issue. It fires at where the enemy was, not necessarily where they are. They can make hitting things that move fast and far away from the ship pretty awkward. You know something funny? Back in the day, I had this game so memorized that I knew exactly where those air trains would appear and could destroy pretty much every last item you see on screen, even without using bombs. Still love using bombs, of course, but, well, yeah. Oh yes, all of these tankers, that means we're reaching the end here, facing the most uniquely designed boss in the Bravo sector. I mean, it's a giant sphere that splits open and spits death. I mean, without involving lasers, this is about as dangerous as any specific flying vehicle can get in this game. Fortunately, the next two sectors will be involving quite a lot of lasers. Oh yes, and here's the plot. Not here. Here's a little extra landing sequence. Here's the plot. What little of it there is. See you all next time in Tango Sector.